For thousands of years, the California condor soared along the Pacific coast.
I've never seen a Marvel movie. I know. But put down your pitchforks, because I'm going to change that, and I'm going to watch every Marvel movie in chronological order, and make a review video about every movie. But to do it properly, I have to start from the beginning. No, not that beginning. Closer, but not that one either. There we go. Yes, that is a poster for a serial, or what we now call a miniseries, based on Captain America that was released in 1944. This miniseries even predates the title of Marvel, because it was based on what was then called Timely Comics. It was produced by a company called Republic Pictures, which might seem familiar if you're aware of the American punk band The Misfits. Yes, that familiar skull logo on all of their album covers and merchandise is from a Republic serial made in 1946 titled The Crimson Ghost. They also produced a serial in 1941 titled The Adventures of Captain Marvel, and if you're wondering why I didn't start with that one, the Captain Marvel in that one was male, and he was adapted into Shazam in the later years, so I'll be saving that for the DC Binge series. But returning back to this serial, it was directed by John English and Elmer Clifton, and it was filmed in late 1943 for about a month and a half from October to November, and it was originally budgeted at only $180,000, but it went $40,000 over budget, leaving it at $220,000 total expenses for the shoot, which ended up actually making it the most expensive serial Republic had ever produced, and eventually leading to it being the last superhero serial that they would do. I don't know if that has any correlation, but I have a strong feeling it does. This would end up being the first theatrical release for a Marvel hero, which is why we're talking about it, and it would be the only one for over 40 years. Okay, now that we know what we're dealing with, let's get into it. The beginning credits roll with our main man rolling in on his motorcycle, which is unfortunately only in like one episode for some reason, which is very disappointing, but and right away you can notice some major differences between the Cap then and today. He looks a bit like a parody superhero that you see today. You'll also notice that he is not a war veteran, or his name is not Steve Rogers, but it is Grant Gardner, and he's a district attorney. He also doesn't have a shield at all. There's no Nazis involved. He's basically just a regular dude with a gun and a fucking suit. As the story goes, they were already in production on a different project when something fell through. Just decided to continue Captain America off of that production. Timely wasn't happy with the changes, but then Republic said it was too late into production. They soon figured out that there was no contract obligating them to base it on Captain America tightly. I also really dig these intros. They look like character select screens from Smash. Soon we meet the rest of the cast, like Guy in Suit, and Guy in Suit 2, and Guy in Suit 3. Then we have this fella on the right, who definitely isn't an alien with such a realistic name like John Davidson. I just realized now making this that the intro is fucking way too long. It's like over a minute long, which is insane. But anyway, we open up with our first episode, The Purple Death, which sounds like an STD I had once. And yeah, I saw a lot of people reviewing this series saying they only watched the first episode. Fucking posers. I watched all 15, sat through 4 hours of this. I'm a real one. Another one of the many weird things about this show is that on every title card it has that spider graphic behind it, even though there was no spiders except in the first episode. I don't even know what happened to the spiders. They just went unmentioned after the first episode. So, the main plot of this first episode is that this scientist dude created a thing called the dynamic vibrator, and this gang keeps trying to steal it to use it for bad boy stuff, and they're pretty much the villains of the whole thing. They're called the Scarab Gang. So yeah, they're mean.
In which you have invented.
How did you find out about my vibrator?
So Captain America goes and saves the day in this building or whatever, but it still falls. An interesting thing about this fucking whatever it is show thing is that every episode they ended on a fat cliffhanger to get you to tune in next time. But like, they show a shot where Captain America would be obviously dead, and then the next episode they're just like show a shot where he escapes, so it makes no fucking sense. An annoying thing about this serial is that every episode they have a recap at the beginning that's like a third of the episode, and it's just the fight scene from the episode previous, which fucking sucks. I guess they didn't plan for binge watching. And the other half of the episode is usually just boring ass dialogue that fucking is tiresome as hell, so yeah, the rest of the episodes pretty much play out the same way. It's a very formulaic show. He dives on people a lot for some reason. People get thrown off shit. They blow shit up. They blow a lot of shit up. There's enough explosions in this thing to please Michael Bay fucking self. That's pretty much all there is to it. It's simple, but it's pretty action-packed as fuck. I don't know what else was on TV in 1944, but I remember he got an axe thrown at him one time. That was fucking gnarly. So at the end, spoiler alert, like anyone gives a fuck, but his girl is like stuck in a fish tank hotbox or some shit, but she gives him a code and they save the day. They beat the Matrix. Now you may be thinking, from the way that I talked about this serial, or like my tone of voice, that I didn't like it that much. But I'm actually going to end up giving it a 6 out of 10, or 3 out of 5, whichever fraction floats your boat. I watched it with a buddy, because I actually have one, and we got some good laughs out of it, just joshing on it together. It was a pretty enjoyable time. The action at its peak was entertaining. And the dialogue at its worst was a bore fest, but, you know, that's why it gets a moderate rating of 3 out of 5, 6 out of 10, whatever fraction floats your boat. So yeah, subscribe to watch me check out the 1977 TV movie version of Spider-Man next week and many videos in between.
Perhaps he's intimidated by the Condor's impressive bulk.